There's a moment in every tech company's life when the alarm bells start ringing. For Google, that moment came in 2022. A chatbot took over the internet. It was called ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence took the world by storm. Google was lagging behind. It marked what many would call code red in the company. Fast forward to 3 years later, and the story has flipped. Today, OpenAI is the one hitting the panic button. The makers of ChatGPT, OpenAI. Their CEO, Sam Altman, has issued his own code red. So what has triggered this, and how did Google steal the march on OpenAI? That's what we'll discuss tonight. OpenAI, as you know, launched ChatGPT in 2022. It's been 3 years, 800 million weekly users now, and $500 billion in valuation. But here's the thing about being on top. You can feel the wind changing before others do. And that wind arrived in the form of Google's Gemini 3. That's Google's new AI model. It is powerful and advanced. It holds the top position on several benchmarks, so much so that even ChatGPT loyalists have shifted teams. I'll give you an example. Look at this post by Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff. He said he used ChatGPT for 3 years. He spent just 2 hours on Gemini 3, and now there's no going back. Inside OpenAI, this hit hard. Reports say Sam Altman sent out a code red memo. What does that mean? What's code red? It means all hands on deck, everything else can wait, fix ChatGPT right now. Here's what Sam Altman is asking his team to do. All new initiatives like ads, shopping and health agents will be delayed. All work on a personal assistant will also be halted. The focus will be completely on ChatGPT, on features like speed, reliability, personalization, and the ability to answer questions. The memo says there will be a daily call, especially with those improving the chatbot. Sam Altman is also encouraging team transfers, even if they're temporary. The idea is to improve app development. Because here's the thing about being number one. Being ahead in an AI race is not fun. It's a curse wrapped in glory. When you're the leader, every update is judged, every slowdown is punished, every new rival is compared to you, and everyone expects you to stay ahead. So OpenAI's biggest strength, its momentum, has suddenly become its liability. And let's be clear, OpenAI is massive. It's a big company, but it's not Google massive. OpenAI revenue this year was $20 billion. Even then, the company is not profitable, even with $20 billion, not even close. Do you know why? Because they spend too much. They've pledged to spend $1.4 trillion in the next 8 years. And that's a problem when your valuation is $500 billion. Even more of a problem when the world suddenly believes that you're not number one anymore. You have a very real problem. Will investors still write the next check? That's the question OpenAI would worry about. So code red is not just about the model. It's about OpenAI's entire business. Also, let's look at Google here. If this were a movie, Google's arc would be called The Empire Strikes Back. You see, Google first came out with an AI model called Bard. It was quite bad. It was embarrassing. So the company took a year to rebuild, and Bard became Gemini. And when Gemini 3 dropped, it wasn't just a model, it was an ecosystem update. It had image generation that rivals OpenAI's Sora, video understanding that embarrasses older models, and integration across Android, Search, Gmail, and Docs. Nano Banana for images, free access for developers, subsidized compute, and no outages on launch day. It is the AI equivalent of a perfect launch. And Google is not sweating funding. It prints tens of billions every quarter. That should explain why OpenAI is scared. Not because Google is better, but because Google can afford to wait and crush on its own timetable. Moral of the story? When you're in the second place, you need to win only once. But when you're in the first place, you need to win every single day. And that is OpenAI's story. The world's most famous AI company is fighting to prove that it can still hold on to its crown.
I rose from the army with medals on my chest. I spoke of freedom from colonial chains, but I tightened my own. I filled prisons with ghosts. Nearly 500,000 people were butchered under my rule. and I trusted only my paranoia. I gave myself grand titles. I claimed to be Africa's strongman. History calls me something else. The dictator. Who am I?